Hello, everyone. It's Rachel and Tami here, co-creators of Rise Gatherings. And we are coming to you today to have a conversation about being entrepreneurs and female entrepreneurs at that. And this is all prompted by our new course offering, Rising Entrepreneur, that we've created to support the growth of women who are driven to create and be of service through a business. And being an entrepreneur is a unique weaving together of passions, skills, and life experiences into a business or offering. And I know Tami knows, that it's quite a journey filled with desire, yes, and drive, creating and recreating, challenges, and all. And it holds the potential for great personal growth and impact in the world. So today we wanted to get real about Tami's journey to and through entrepreneurship. And we know that you see what we put out into the world as Rise Gatherings, but we want to give you a closer look at the behind the scenes story of us two women founders. So Tami.
Hi.
Love doing this and interviewing you. So I know that you entered entrepreneurship, at least into Rise Gatherings, later in your life. And I would love for you to share with me and everyone of how you got here to this point and what led you to where you are now.
How I became an entrepreneur. So I think some people are born into it, like they're lifelong entrepreneurs. That's what they do. And then others are like me, where it comes later in life, either out of a opportunity or a desire. And luckily for me, it was both. And both happened around the same time. So in my 40s, mid 40s, I was at that stage of life where I was a mom with a busy family. I think my 40s were when I was really in flow with my professional development. And so I was at that stage where I felt confident about both my passion and my purpose. My purpose being, I can name it, I feel my gift and what I am meant to do here is to cultivate opportunities for people to connect with themselves and each other. Everything I'd done up until then was about that, not just professionally, probably personally in the way I interacted with family and friends as well. And my purpose also was very much around women and girls and their empowerment. So while I had a career at that time, I also would think about these ways that I wanted to bring people together, that kind of pulled together the elements of being a yoga teacher, doing group work, optimal living. I was at that time like really into personal growth through podcasts, like that was the thing at the time. And just what happens when you have these opportunities to learn. And I was always thinking of ways to do it, but like just still on the hamster wheel of life and not really doing these ideas. And then I met you, Rachel. We were introduced because someone said you two were meant to meet, and she was right. And we sort of invited each other along into what is now Rise Gatherings. So when you say like, how did I become an entrepreneur? That was the beginning. And I can reflect on it now just with this gratitude, because I was at least in the busyness of my life paying enough attention to feel the pull. Like I can look back now and I know it was one of those liminal moments in life where a door was opening. And believe me, or I don't have to tell you, Rachel, but anyone else listening, I didn't go running through that door. I was like, oh, I'll like take a step in. That's and look around.
Yes.
Creating a destination weekend getaway for 100 plus women from scratch, that scared the crap out of me. And also it was hard to explain, not just to myself, but to the people around me that I know always have my best interest in mind, but we're kind of like, what? What are you doing? And with whom? Especially as I started moving away from my professional roles
Yeah.
and leaving them in order to allocate more time to starting Rise gatherings. So
Mhm.
that was when you say like what was going on, fear and letting go of preconceived notions of what it looked like to be professional. And then I'll also say the fear was around the loss, like job security, having colleagues, doing things as I knew what they were, and being able to tell someone, not in a way to impress, but just like what I just, at a party, or like, what does my mom say now that her daughter does? At the time, it was more like, we're doing this weekend getaway and
Yeah.
we want to bring women together for this. I mean, we knew what we wanted to do, but
It sounds like,
go ahead. Yeah.
I was just
Rach.
saying, it sounds like you're touching on confidence too. When you're creating
Yeah.
something new and something from, again, something new, something from nothing, or from an idea or a desire, or from your previous life experiences, and it doesn't have that same footing as, say, a corporate job that you had, or something seen as more professional, that you didn't necessarily have. You had to build the confidence in expressing what it is and owning that it is a business or something that has something to offer people.
Yeah. You're making me think of, just remember right now about the confidence that my work had been in nonprofits, and I had a lot of answers. Not because I was a know-it-all, but I had a lot of experience and I was in my zone. And then
Mhm.
starting our own endeavor just raised so many questions, and the kinds of questions that I didn't know the answers to, like, you know, um, there's so many the things
Right.
with
All the
accounting and
questions that we
marketing, and
never.
like, what kind of business should we be? Should we be an LLC? Should we be an S corp? And how much time and money do we allocate to all these things? And when do you hire a professional? And when do you just sweat it out yourself? That insecure, it's, I guess it's a lack of confidence. It's some imposter syndrome, but it's just also the growing edge. And I wouldn't trade that
Yes.
for anything now, looking back, because
Mhm.
I had to start all over in so many ways. It's like, as soon as you get really good at something, you of course get a little restless with it if you're a
Yes.
seeker yourself. And so
You
that,
traded that in.
yeah. So I just want to go back to that door opening thing, because that's a real visual for me, like this idea,
Okay.
whether it was you opening a door or the desire of my heart, like this moment of, okay, here is this idea, here's this thing, you can do it or you can not. The mind has a role in that, of listening, but there's also a quieting of the mind to hear the desire of the heart, and then a reconciling of the two so that they can ultimately align.
Yes. It's like just when you're
Absolutely.
in that place where you're feeling that alignment inside, and you're maybe opening a new door, or peeking through, um, you I showed up. That's all. It wasn't me. It was you. I know that. And it was
Absolutely.
probably this deep desire from the heart. And I think a lot of it maybe stemmed from, and not to say your story, but when you trading in what you're used to and the comfort for being who you are, which is someone that desires personal growth, or to reach new places within yourself, or of impact in the world. You were fulfilling your becoming. That's what I think.
Thanks, Rach. Just to reiterate what you're saying, I'm going to talk about myself, when I am doing what I'm meant to be doing, I feel both an energy that can be perceived as anxiety, like a nervous excitement, but I also am able to see and recognize when things are happening for me. And that's so much of what being an entrepreneur is. There isn't a guidebook for how to start a business, because every great entrepreneurial business is often a unique idea,
Mhm.
but it's having your eyes open and being able to see when something's happening, and then receiving it, like calming the nervous energy so that you can say, oh my gosh, we offered a retreat and 15 people came. And then in the evaluation, they told us that their lives were changed. And that's what fuels you to do it again.
Bringing in that being an entrepreneur is a journey. And now, we're 5 years later from it being a just yes to an idea and for you to take a chance. What do you experience as your challenges, your personal challenges that show up for you in entrepreneurship, and also the joys that complement those?
Hands down, you are right. The joy is being of service and seeing what happens when we create an experience. And then I always picture it like a letting go of the reins once the experience is there. We work hard to cultivate that fertile ground for women to connect with themselves and each other. But then once the day or the workshop or the Zoom, whatever it is there, the joy is watching it unfold for others and what's inside of them. Like, then we just get out of the way. So that's always the joy. And they also say the joy of being an entrepreneur is like all the things that people maybe think of, like you create your own schedule and you have autonomy around things and you have that sense of hustle, of being excited about an idea and then putting it into action. The challenges, okay. The stuff I talked about earlier, like the voices in your head that are saying, who are you to do this? And I already want to answer it with like, well, if not you, then who? But that voice is still there for me. Who are you? Do you have the qualifications or the whatever? I don't know. It's still there.
Yes.
The challenge around decision-making when you're still a small organization, 2020 being a great example. I know every organization, big and small, had their version of how do we respond to the pandemic when there weren't answers. And the emotional lift that it was to make some of those decisions was really so much. And you're smiling because we did it together, but that's for another like.
And when you said it, I was going to say it was so hard, but I was going to say heart. Like it hits on these parts of you because you're so personally invested in something too. As an entrepreneur, it being yours and there being so much always emotionally attached to.
It was heart work.
It was hard work.
Hard work.
That's what entrepreneurship is anyway, hard work.
Totally. Just to add to that, whether it was the pandemic or something else, just resources and answers to the challenges that are typical and the ones that we could never predict. And being able to rely on myself and trusting that I'm enough, and also relying on others and trusting them and remembering that I don't, no reason to try and do all this alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm forever blessed to be able to have this experience with you and to witness you continue to move through your own journey of being an entrepreneur. And I thank you for being who you are and taking those risks in your life, no matter the challenge that it presented for you. And we, myself and Tami, deeply look forward to guiding this cohort of women, maybe you're one of them, through the Rising Entrepreneur course, where we will touch on all of these personal aspects of entrepreneurship, but also provide you with some concrete guidance to build your confidence and skills as you move through your entrepreneur journey. And you're going to have a community of women just like yourself to support you through it as well, not just myself and Tami. And that's what it's all about.
Thanks for the hundreds, if not thousands, of people who have participated in Rise gatherings and believed in what we do, so that now I am an entrepreneur and can continue to be in this way that I hope leads to even more growth and transformation, not for me, for everyone.